is holding brief for criminals in a criminal case.
Order, Governor. Governor, order. You cannot make those kind of allegations on a senator sitting in the Senate. You know the rules. You've been the Speaker of the House. Can you withdraw those comments, Governor, that the senator of Nakuru is holding brief for criminals? That cannot be accepted.
But luckily she's here. She can say yes or no.
Order. I am the chair. Order. My duty is to enforce order. Governor, you will withdraw those comments that the senator of Nakuru is holding brief for criminals. When she called you a liar, I told her to withdraw. Please follow suit and withdraw so that we can proceed.
Okay, she's holding brief for the defendants. Is that better?
Governor, please just withdraw. I didn't ask you to paraphrase. I asked you to withdraw so that we can proceed. This is a house of order.
Okay.
I will not accept any member here or even you, Governor, being accused of illegalities. I will defend and protect you. I will defend and protect my senators. Please go on record.
If I can substantiate.
Please go. You want to substantiate?
By her own statements. She's holding brief for that instead of for the public land.
So it is your view that you want us to spend this session on substantiation of your allegations?
We can.
It is not a useful application of the time of the Senate.
It's not useful, but I was ready. Because you also said I'm saying that so we can close down the meeting. I can be here until 6, substantiating.
Governor,
it's okay, I will withdraw.
Fine. Now you can proceed.
For criminals, I will withdraw.
Now you can proceed.
Okay. So, Chair, maybe some of it may say, some senator may say I'm agitated or that we are bringing sideshows. It is not sideshows. It is just I feel very strongly that as a governor of Nakuru County, it is my duty to make sure that public land is not fraudulently taken by people and then come back and say because it's a hospital, we must let them continue. So yes, we have our county attorney has been instructed.
The rules of sub judice in the standing orders bar us from discussing matters that are substantively before the courts.
Yes.
The issue of ownership, the issue of legality of leases is part of the criminal proceedings in court.
Yes.
Let us not discuss them. Let me guide you that come back to order number 7, order number 6 and number 7 in the order that you have attached. That was a question asked by Senator Omogeni.
Yes.
Let's address that. At least that is safe ground. And, that will not make us go sub judice.
I agree, Chair. And in fact, at the beginning, if you recall, I had told you we should. I actually should not be responding to this because it's sub judice.
No. What is before us is not sub judice. The order of the court is not sub judice unless you confirm that order number 6, unless you tell us how order number 6 and 7 were implemented. That was a question that was raised by Senator Omogeni.
But Chair, you can't also sit there and let some of these senators throw some allegations here regarding what I am not doing as far as health, and then when I respond, it's sub judice.
Governor, I request you to address yourself to order number 6 and order number 7.
Which is 6 and 7? Which one?
And if it is to help to refresh that this particular order, mention of compliance was to be done on 7th of October 2024.
Oh, okay, it's that one. Okay.
And that the High Court was to determine the dispute within the next 60 days. Perhaps order number 6 is not yours. Just tell us how order number 7 was dealt with. So was there a mention of compliance?
Yes, that's the one of the, with the attachments. So, Chair, that's the one we have responded and given you attached the attachments as I speak. And as a county, we have done what the court required us to do, which was form or participate in the formation of that joint committee. Our 2 members in the 5-member committee, who is the CEC for Health, she's still the CEC for Health, and the county secretary are still part of that membership. Now, as I stated, and I will just repeat it for the flow of this, that we have done our part, but the defendants feel that they cannot reopen the hospital jointly with the county, and they have been saying that they will go back to court for that. So, Chair, that is where we are. However, I have instructed a couple of weeks ago my county attorney.
Governor, have you read order number 7?
Which
order number 7. so that we deal with that. I don't want us to stray.
Okay. Yeah, I'm responding as far as the order by the High Court. Isn't that the one?
Order number 7 required that mention of compliance be done on 7th of October.
Oh, okay.
Compliance with this order.
Okay.
That's what we are asking, because you have told us the stories about how the other party is not cooperating.
Yeah.
So can you just tell us whether that order has been addressed or it's before the courts? So that if it's before the courts, we leave it as sub judice.
I can quickly ask and we can return. I can come back to it. But I know we have gone to every hearing. There is no hearing that has been missed.
Was there a
so I'm sure this was
there a mention of compliance on 7th of October?
Can I ask the attorney who is one of your senators?
Yeah, because that is critical. For us, we will not deal with other issues. We just want to know why this order cannot be enforced.
Point of order, who is the attorney?
The attorney of record is Professor Ojienda, who is one of the senators. But I will ask him real quick.
Where is he?
Governor, is there anyone? Order members, order. Is there anyone in your delegation who can give us? Yeah, because I thought you had someone from the legal.
He can.
It's a clear question. It was asked by a senior counsel, and I think it requires just a clear, direct answer. 69.
Thank you very much, Chair. The matter, I can confirm that on that particular date, it didn't come up for compliance, but it's coming up on 22nd of this month for the ruling of the applications.
Senior counsel?
You see, Wakili, compliance means that you have to tell the court whether order number 2 that required the hospital to be opened had been opened. So what we want to know is, when you went to court, did you tell the court you have complied, or what is on record? When you went back to court, what did you tell the court? Because the court wanted to know whether you had complied with order number 2 that said War Memorial Hospital shall be opened immediately. So what did you tell the court?
Thank you, Senator. On that day, the court did not say it. Yeah, it did not sit on that particular day. Yeah, but we got another date. And we are hoping that we can get the final ruling on 22nd of July to put this matter to rest.
So since October 2014, the court never sat again to know whether there was compliance of a court order?
On that particular issue, to check on compliance, I would need to confirm.
My God, you are letting down your governor terribly.
Yes.
Terribly.
Since 24, we've gotten 10 court orders to reopen that hospital.
Yeah.
So, honourable members, I thought we were going to get some substantive
Governor,
answer on that. Members, that is a situation we shall be the judges.
That is why the good advocates, we should take it up with the membership, with the Law Society. And Governor, that explains why you had to look for Senator Professor Tom Ojienda. Because because if you are in-house counsel cannot answer something that says just compliance.
Can I add?
Okay, members, order members, order.
I wanted to add on something on Cherangei.
Okay, now
You've been calling for the RSK.
Yes.
That is going to record. RSK demonstrated in the Nakuru, and before they reached the office of the governor, they were beaten with stones by police. It's good to go in record.
Okay. Senator Tabitha.
Very serious
Senator
matter.
Tabitha and Senator Cherarkei, we have the order before us, which has been adduced as evidence. Order members. We have the order before us, which has been adduced as evidence of progress made to reopen the hospital. It has been stated by the governor under oath that the hospital is not yet open because of non-cooperation of the other partners. But we have also seen clearly in the order that there was supposed to be a mention of compliance, which was not done. We will then have to sit down and interrogate where the problem is. Is it in the judiciary that did not bring up the matter for mention? Is it the county that sees no sense of urgency? Or is it the other party? We, as judges on this matter, we do not have to pronounce ourselves, but we have all the facts before us, We have all the records before us. Let us restrict ourselves to the issue of value for money. Let us restrict ourselves to the issues of public interest, and let's allow the courts to deal with the issues of ownership of land. But I think from where we sit, it sounds unconscionable that you will have a hospital that is fully equipped, that is shut down as a result of legal disputes. That is not prudence. That is not the definition of prudence as per the Constitution and as per the PFM Act. So, members, we can leave it at that. Let the citizens of Nakuru be the judge on who is at fault on this. Senator Cherargei.
I thought the issue is about lease, but not ownership of the land. I thought that should come out.
Members, we benefited from the earlier brief. The question of lease and ownership is an active matter in court.
Okay.
So we leave that for the courts to determine. I think the matter that we can address is value for money and prudence in application of public resources. Now, members, can we make some progress?
Yeah, may I? Just one minute on that. Because I did say that I will ask the substantive attorney on the case. And I have the answer that actually they were in court yesterday. And we have closed our case. So we have completed our part. The issue of compliance is a substantial part of the trial. So even by discussing it so much, it's sub judice. And because the case has come to an end, and as you have heard, the ruling is on July 22nd, I think it would make sense to wait and see the outcome of the case then, because it's been a lot of litigations. There's actually a lot of cases pending based on this, but this is the main case. But just for the record, as I conclude, the same cases, the same issues happened in Machakos and Kakamega, where such hospitals were such people tried to fraudulently take these hospitals. So Nakuru is not unique, and we shall not give up on fighting for the rights of Nakuru people.
We shall give specific recommendations for Nakuru County, because that's the entity before us. Honorable members, I want us to move on to the other residual matters. We had come from the motor vehicle ownership to the land ownership, and we came to this matter of Nakuru War Memorial. Now, let's go back to the other issues of numbers. Auditor General, you had flagged unaccounted disbursements to another county fund. You had advised that the 1.96 billion queried there has now been accounted for?
Yes, Chair, that one has been accounted for, but we combined it with the question number 8. That's what's talking of lawfulness of retaining monies for the public facilities, non-compliance with the Finance Act.
Okay, so for avoidance of doubt, and for those who do not have the documents before us, the 1.96 billion were transferred to which entities?
Public health facilities.
And have these public health facilities prepared their financial statements?
They prepared financial statement, Chair.
So they will be subject to audit?
They had already submitted the audit, and we have verified the bank statements that the county provided, and we traced how the money was disbursed to the facilities.
Okay, so then we look at non-compliance with Facility Improvement Financing Act. You can read your finding.
Thank you, Chair. That is number 8 under financial issues, non-compliance with the Improvement Facility Financing Act. And I would go to paragraph 3, which reads, in addition, the Facility Improvement Financing FIF revenue were deposited into the general county revenue accounts instead of designated facility bank accounts. This was contrary to the provisions of Section 20, subsection 1 of the Facility Improvement Financing Act 2023, which requires that all revenues...
Auditor, why didn't you want to start from the top? You went to the summary.
Chair, we have just discussed that the transfers were supported, so So
No,
maybe-
no. Just read the whole
Okay.
issue so that we put it in context.
Okay, thank you. Sorry for that. Number 8 is on non-compliance with Facility Improvement Financing Act 2023. Review of county records for level 4 and 5 hospitals revealed that 16 facilities collected 1.79 billion and transferred a nil amount to the county revenue fund. Further available records indicate that the amount of 1.7 billion was disbursed to 16 hospitals from the Facility Improvement Fund collection account. However, the hospital financial statement reflected...
Just for order, because we will transcribe from the answer. Why does the OAG read the entire amount so that it's captured? Because she's just saying 1.7 billion. I thought it's good so that when we are transcribing, we
Okay.
capture them.
Wait, you just read your finding as is.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me start again. Review of county revenue fund for level 4 and level 5 hospitals revealed that 16 facilities collected 1,797,785,103 and transferred nil amount to the county revenue fund. Further available records indicate that the amount of 1,797,785,103 was disbursed to 16 hospitals for the Facility Improvement Fund collection account. However, the hospital's financial statements reflected a total amount of 1.7 billion 726,123,564 as having received for the FIF account, resulting to unexplained and disbursed amount of 71,663,539. Further, the county government of Nakuru receiver of revenue statement reflect transfer of another county fund FIF amount of 1,960,729,790, which is at variance with the county records amount of 1,797,785,103, resulting into unexplained variance of 162,944,687. The inconsistency between the various records has not been explained by the management. In addition, the Facility Improvement Financing FIF revenues were deposited into the general county revenue accounts instead of the designated facility bank accounts. This was contrary to the provision of Section 20, subsection 1 of the Facility Improvement Financing Act 2023, which requires that all revenues collected by health facilities be retained in designated FIF accounts utilized strictly for approved operations and improvement activities. In the circumstances, the accuracy and completeness of county revenue amounting to 1,797,785,103 could not be confirmed. Thank you, Chair.
Governor, you may respond.
Honorable Chair, we submit that the amount of...
Sorry, again, since we are working a bit, we are not going page by page, just read out the page numbers so that members can be there.
Sorry. It's page 329. Honorable Chair, I'll let them find it.
Okay, you may proceed.
Thank you. Honorable Chair, we submit that the amount of 1,797,200. How do you read it? 1,797,211,998 was the amount collected by the 16 hospital facilities. Appendix 8.1 is the audit certificate. Kenya shillings 1,960,729,780 and 90 were total disbursements to other county fund, that is the FIF operational accounts. Reconciliation of transfers to another county fund. Details, opening balance as of 1st July 2024, 399,994,975. Add collections of 1,797,211,998. Less closing balance as of 30th June 2025 of 234,606,2,987. Less bank charges of 1,874,195. So total transfers to another county fund of 1,960,729,790. And the county fund is the FIF operational accounts. So details. Total transfers to another county fund is the 1,960,729,790. Less collections, 1,797,211,998. And the variance of 162,944,687. That is Appendix 8.2, analysis of the reconciliations. The management has taken the following steps: prepared and submitted a reconciliation statement to the auditors for verification. Appendix 8.3, forwarding letter of management response.
Auditor General, the unexplained and disbursed amount of 71,663,539, has it been explained?
Yes, Chair, this has been explained because at the close of the financial year, the various hospital facilities had a closing cash book balance, which was not taken into consideration during the reconciliation. And when we reconciled with the reconciliation, they are provided, the issue has been addressed.
The unexplained variance of 162,944,687, has it been addressed?
Thank you, Chair. This one has been addressed because this receiver of revenue statement was projecting the analysis from the receipts that were in the system, but the money that was transferred to the county account has been reconciled with the statement that had not been
On the third
transferred.
question on lawfulness, compliance with Section 21 of the FIF Act, has that been addressed?
Chair, this one is what is pending because the act is, the Section 20 is very clear that each facility should retain all the monies that they collect and to be approved for operations for the improvement of the activities.
Governor, you may want to make a comment on that because the first two issues have been addressed. There is now the issue of compliance with Section 20 of the FIF Act.
Well, thank you, Chair. I'll hand over to my CEC Finance.
Proceed. And for answered purposes, just restate your name and your designation.
Stephen Jogo, CEC in charge of Finance and Economic Planning, Nakuru County. Since March of 2025, we are in compliance. We opened the FIF Nakuru County FIF Revenue Collection Account, and at the same time we opened Nakuru County FIF Special Purpose Account at the CBK.
So you have complied
Yes.
from March 2025?
Yes.
Auditor General, from March 2025, no, that's outside your current scope of audit.
Chair, it was during the time they were closing the financial year, but I think being that they have opened it at Central Bank, we'll include it in our books in the for the.
So you can
current.
keep that in view and advise us on whether they've complied with the Act.
Thank you, Chair.
Honourable members, we can come back to payables. I know there's an issue on receivables, but there's also an issue on payables. Let's start with payables, because those receivables will still remain as a debt in the books. They'll, unless there was an issue about the write-off. So, Auditor General, tell us what you established on trade and other payables balance.
Thank you, Chair. This is number 5 under our financial statements. The statement of financial position reflects trade and other payable balance of 6,486,882,856 and a comparative balance of 1,478,761,394, which reflect an increase of 5,007,325,462 for the year under review as disclosed in Note 32 to the financial statement. However, review of the supporting schedule reflect balance of 5,843,012,076, resulting to an explained and unreconciled variance of 643,070,092. In the circumstances, the accuracy and completeness of trade and other payables balance of 6,486,082,856 could not be confirmed. Thank you, Chair.
I believe there's another finding on trade payables. Is it coming under lawfulness?
Yes, Chair, it's coming
about
under lawfulness.
long-standing payables.
Yes, it's number 1 under lawfulness.
Can you just read it so that we deal with this issue of trade payables jointly? And members, you can also look at Note 32, which we usually analyze the aging analysis of the debt, so that we deal with this issue of pending bills collectively.
Thank you, Chair. Number 1 under lawfulness is long outstanding trade and other payables. The statement of financial positions reflect trade and other payable balance of 6,486,082,856 as disclosed in Note 32 to the financial statement. However, review of age analysis revealed that there was a balance of 1,478,761,394, or 23% of total payables have been outstanding for more than 1 year. This was contrary to Section 53, subsection 8 of the Public Procurement and Assets Disposal Act 2015, which states that an accounting officer shall not commence any procurement proceedings until satisfied that the sufficient funds to meet the obligation of the resulting contract are reflected in the approved budget estimate. Further, failure to clear trade payables in the year to which they relate distort the budget of the following year as they constitute to a first charge on the budget. In the circumstances, management was in breach of the law and the county executive runs the risk of incurring significant and unqualified costs on interest and penalties associated with delays in settling the invoiced bill. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, Governor, we have handled 2 queries, but they relate to the same matter, trade payables. So maybe you first deal with the issue of the 5 billion growth in trade payables in 1 year, and then you go to the other matter of trade payables worth 1.478 billion that have been outstanding for more than 1 year.
Thank you, Chair. To the members and everyone, it's page 309, the first one, 309. Honorable Chair, the variance amounting to 643,070,092 relating to grants and transfers to other entities was not reflected in the trade payables schedule, but it was appropriately recognized and disclosed in the statement of financial position. The management has taken the following steps. 1, the trade payables schedule figure of 5,843,012,764 has been adjusted to incorporate the variance of 643,070,092, hence reconciling with the statement of financial position figure of 486,082,856 as per the schedule provided. Appendix 5.1 has the reconciliation statement. In addition, management has undertaken several capacity building workshops for accountants to strengthen technical competencies, particularly in the application of IPSAS 33 and other relevant accounting standards. Appendix 5.2 has the IPSAS training. I go straight through to the next.
Maybe we can ask questions on this, then we go to the other one of the aged debt. Auditor General, does that response address your concern?
Thank you, Chair. The response was addressed because most of the variance that we were querying were the payables, the money that was to be transferred to various fund accounts, which has since been provided. Thank you, Chair.
Now, so that deals with 643 million.
Yes, Chair, they have reconciled.
But the bigger question, Governor, is how you close a year with a debt of 5 billion under 1 year. What were the circumstances? Because the prior year, the opening balance was 0. And this year, 5 billion was debt less than 1 year. The prior year opening statement balance was 1.4 billion, and then you close the year at 6.4 billion, which indicates that your pending bills, what we usually call pending bills, has grown by 5 billion. That's what percentage growth is that? From 1.4 to 6.4. That's almost a 4 times growth. What were the circumstances, and what is the plan to settle that 5 billion debt, and what has been achieved so far?
Oh, thank you, Chair. I'll turn it over to the CEC Finance.
CC?
Thank you, Chair. During the close of last financial year, there was a change in financial reporting, where the controller of budget required us to report anything that was not covered or paid by close of day on 30th June. And most of these were even monies that we had already requisitioned and we are waiting for the controller of budget to approve. But most of it has been paid. As we are talking now, the bill is around 2.1 billion as of close of May this year.
Do you have any evidence of payments made during the year?
Yes.
So,
can you cite them in the appendices in these documents?
I didn't.
is there evidence
payment
before us on the payment progress?
It is in my second and third quarter financial and financial reporting to the National Treasury and Control of Budget, which we can provide.
So probably you are responding to 642 in this.
The whole figure of 6.4 billion.
I think what you've tendered is to close the gap of the unreconciled variance of 643, but this is a supplementary question on how you closed at 5 billion, and you are saying it was a cutoff. Now, how did this cutoff only affect Nakuru and not other counties? Because we have seen 46 other counties, and none of them has reported that kind of figure, and where they have reported that kind of figure, they have given reasons of late disbursements from the Exchequer. Now you are giving a completely different technical reason.
Chair, if you look at it, if you get the Exchequer releases late, you are not able to pay within the month of June. But for all the requisitions that are already in the system by close of day 30th June, you are able to pay all the way to end of July and maybe 1 or 2, 3 days in August.
TC, just speak in English.
Yes.
Is this money that came late, so you are not able to pay within the financial year, and then it came and you settled? I think we have seen that. We saw a county like Kilifi closing with a huge pending bill of 4 billion. They said the money came late in July, but they were able to demonstrate that subsequently they paid. Now that's English, but if you tell us about cutoff and standards, you'll confuse us.
Yeah, that's it.
So why are you saying that you paid during the third quarter? It should be in the first quarter. And if it is in the first quarter, it must be, the evidence must be here.
Payment, if you look at the way the system is designed, as long as the contractor or the supplier has submitted request for payment by close of day 30th June, you're able to process the payment even within the first quarter.
What was your last exchequer release in this financial year, and when did it come through?
The 2024-25.
Yes, this year under review. Did it come before 30th of June, or it came after 30th of June?
I think it came in the first or second week of July. But I can
But
confirm.
Treasury usually gives a window of 14, 15 days. Or Treasury, was this different in this financial year?
Chair, it's true the exchequer for that specific year left the first week of July, but the counties had all the way to 15 to make the payment. So they consumed the exchequer. It may have seemed as if it was late, but it was used in the specific year because the budget is opened for the previous year to consume the money that was for the previous year.
Do you see?
But Chair, if you look at the reporting was as of 30th June.
So you're saying you're reporting before you receive the last tranche of the exchequer?
Yes.
But you see, Chair, what I find difficult with Waziri is that he says there is even a schedule of payments or settlements. But that schedule is only available to him. I mean, it would be the easiest thing to make that available to everyone. So
And even though the governor said she does not need my help, when you report that your pending bills have grown from 1.4 billion to 6.4 billion, you are causing yourself unnecessary political crisis, because people will say you are not paying suppliers. So I don't know whether you still need my help or not, but let's hear from Senator Chirarke.
You can help, Chair.
Senator Chirarke.
Chair,
Senator Maruma.
mine is on this CEC. You didn't demonstrate, but I've seen the reconciliation of 648 million. This, why in your financial statements you did demonstrate this 5 billion, and then the aspect you should have indicated is it because of this you're arguing that it was given late? What is the role of EGP, the e-procurement, in ensuring that such money do not get hold on? And then finally, Chair, to the governor, I've seen in your aging analysis, over 3 years, the 11% of there is a pending bill of 11% or trade payables of 11%, that is 681,130,092 shillings. Many counties, when they took over, they used to do what we call, although the courts in Kitale stopped it, they used to do what we call pending bill verification. In this aspect of over 3 years, Governor, was there any either gazetted or your internal pending bill verification of this 11% that you owe? And then finally, Chair, combining both 2 to 3 years of 273 million, 523 million, Governor, this is a significant amount. Of course, I appreciate Nakuru is a very huge and vast county. What is it attached to? Is it more of recurrent or expenditure, the certificates that are being raised by suppliers and the people or contractors in that region? So, Chair, if the governor can answer those 3 concerns.
Okay, Senator Maruma.
Yeah, mine is just on the notes. I'm looking at the note 32 on trade and other payables. And it is indicated that employee payables compensation is 554,458,051. How much do you pay per month for employee salaries? About how much? And it is 554 million for maybe June salaries only, or for other months?
Okay, yeah, Governor, you may respond, taking note also that your total revenue for that year was, Auditor General, can you help me to get the actual number? I know it was contentious when you are computing the fiscal responsibility. What
Yes,
was the
Chair.
total revenue?
That one is on page 1 of the financial statement on financial performance. It is 15 billion 593 million 236,618.
15 billion.
15 billion, yes.
15 billion. Out of the 15 billion, 6.4 billion are debts. That's what the financial statements are telling us, isn't it? Auditor General, is that the right interpretation?
Chair, no.
What is the interpretation? Because you have trade and other payables of 6.4 billion.
This 6.4 billion, I think it includes even the previous carried forward trade payables.
Correct. You have 15 billion for the year, but you have 6 billion in debt for current and prior years. Isn't it? Because the accountants must speak to the public. The standards and the reports must speak to the public. We must reduce it to a language that the public understands. So, Governor, there have been many, many questions from my colleagues. You can respond to them.
Okay, I'll say it in general, and then if there are specifics, I'll turn over to my people. One, that's a good question on the 6 billion or is it 5 billion? Part of that is salaries, because when the money comes after June 30th, it is paid the next financial year. So it would look to you like a pending bill, but it's truly not a pending bill. It's just salaries. The cutoff of June 30th then messes with that. I think that was the first year of accrual accounting. And then part of the other stuff, part of that bill, my salaries, by the way, I think a senator asked that, is about 600 million or $500 million per month. And then part of that money too is requisitions for suppliers after the cutoff of June 30th. So a lot of it is then processed and paid within the month of July of that, because also our money comes in late. And I want, for the record, actually even Standard and the Star ran something on us and said Nakuru was number 2 in paying pending bills. So we don't play about pending bills, we pay them. But this has a lot to do with the accounting system that was in place, or that's in place.
There were some questions by Senator Cherargei on the breakdown of the aging of the debt. And again,
sorry.
And again, we are complicating a very simple question, because what perhaps you ought to have demonstrated without getting into too much jargon is that late disbursement, and confirm how much it was, and then provide evidence that when it came, it was eventually applied to pay staff, it was eventually applied to pay trade payables. I think that would have clearly given a way forward. But if we make it a technical thing, then we get lost in it. So I don't know, CC, how much is that was received on 2nd of July?
Around 1.2 billion.
Then that does not answer the problem. That does not answer the problem, because 1.2 is hardly enough to pay your salaries. Well, it covers your salaries. Huh? You said 1 or 2 or 1.2?
1.2.
1.2?
Yes.
So then that does not answer, does not cure the problem.
Chair, maybe also,
Chair.
where the debt has been aged over 3 years, and I think Senator Cherargei asked this. Over 3 years, you have 681 million. 130,092. Out of these, how much are staff payables? And how much are third-party deductions and statutory deductions? This 681. Is it possible to get that segregation?
Yes.
That breakdown?
Yes.
Where is it?
And maybe to
Ideally, under these notes.
Maybe also to add to that, because I had Seragai asking what Excellency Governor inherited on pending bills. It was about 800 million when she took over the government. You check and see. That's what we have. So, and then monthly reimbursement or allocation is about 1.2 or 1.3 billion, whatever you're talking about, 1 month, monthly. So, having raised the pending bills to be 6.4 billion, then I can confirm that's why the Nakuru people, they are all crying everywhere about their pending bills, the payments. I know you, the Star has said, I commended you that you're paying the pending bills, but there's a lot of outcry, and this can prove having a pending bill of 6.4 billion.
So this is the danger of speaking jargon rather than speaking to the public, because Governor, the report that we have here from your opening balances, it indicates that prior year you did very well.
Yes.
Prior year you did very well. You closed at 1.4 and you had nothing under 1 year. So the concern is why the subsequent year it jumped by 5 billion. And I think that's the explanation that needs to come out so that the people of Nakuru do not come to a conclusion that you are not paying. So if it's an accounting reason, break it down to a language that people can understand.
Thank you, Chair, and I'll turn it over to Martha, who will give us it's an accounting reason that needs to be broken down into language we can understand. But for the record, when I came into office, unlike what the Nakuru Senator is saying, it was not 800 million, but it was 2.1 billion of eligible debt, a pending bill, and 2.5 billion ineligible. But over time, after we set up the committee, most of that moved up to be eligible, because maybe they were missing things here and there. But anyhow, let me turn it over to Martha.
Again, for answered purposes, reintroduce yourself.
Honorable Chair, my name is Martha Mateta. I'm in charge of debt management. Now, I'm going to explain the spike of 500 billion. When we were closing the financial year...
Is it 500 billion?
5 billion, I'm sorry.
Okay.
When we closed the financial year, 24-25, as at 30th June 2025, most of these bills, rather most of this expenditure had not been cleared for payment by the IFMI system. And so when we crossed over to Q1 and Q2 of financial year 25-26, these payments were cleared. Most of them were not ideally pending bills. They were just trade payables that were covered in now the ended financial year. By 31st May of 2026, the trade payables stood at 2.5 billion. So, Honorable Chair, we are really working on paying the pending bills. The rise to 6.4 was not ideally pending bills. It was trade payables brought about by the transition to accrual. Thank you.
So how much of that stock related to staff? I think that question has been asked repeatedly.
237 million.
That's within 1 year?
Not within 1 year.
Or in total?
Yeah, in total. And out of that... 237 million.
How much of that are statutory remittances, pensions?
208.
So 208 million relates to statutory deductions?
Yes, and out of that, we've processed around 68 million for payment.
I would have thought that statutory deductions are done on a monthly basis as salaries are requisitioned. What would be the reason for having about 100 plus million on outstanding statutory deductions for staff?
You see, when we were requested to declare everything, including the old obligations, we had to declare this 208, which was coming from the defunct local authority.
How much was coming from the defunct local authority?
208 million.
Were those pension obligations or the pay as you earn and other tax-related...
Pension obligations.
So maybe just for the record, because you used 31st May as a benchmark, where you said your trade payables is 2.5 billion. As at 31st May, what is your total employee payables?
It's still 237 million because the payments have not been cleared.
And what is
but there is a 58. There is a 58.
What is the age of the 237 million? Is it over 3 years?
No, it's between 2 to 3 years and 1 to 2 years, Chair.
Then it cannot relate to defunct authorities, because if it was for defunct authorities, it would be greater than 3 years.
But that is when it was introduced into the books.
It was not recognized as a liability previously.
It wasn't recognized.
Okay. Auditor General, what's your take on that?
Chair, when you look at note 32, what she refers to the defunct local authority, they have indicated over 3 years. Those ones they are very fine. So I think they are correct, because we are moving from the pending bills to now accrual. And with the new adoption, they were told just to put the figures pending verification. So maybe we can give them allowance as we adopt the accrual that allows them to verify and confirm the actual balances so that the books can be properly stated. Thank you, Chair.
Now, on this, do you owe any gratuities to staff who have served the county government of Nakuru previously? Because those would form part of that 237 million.
No.
Is that a statement of fact, or is something that you need to examine?
Chair, it should be a statement of fact, because my CEC has
so
confirmed.
Then what is the makeup of the 237 million? What are the items?
208 in staff pension, and then 29 million 455 937 in staff allowances and claims.
Senator Maruma?
Yeah, but Chair, still, I don't understand the auditor. Please just make it clear that there are some bills which are historical in nature that were previously ignored and were brought back just last year. How is that? Where were they? I'm not an accountant myself, I'm a farmer. Where were they previously?
Auditor?
Okay, Honorable Senator, they were not just brought from anywhere, but in our previous cash basis, they were doing disclosure. They were not reporting them as under the financial statement items. And that's why the road to accrual adoption is giving a window of 3 years under IPSAS 33, and they were allowed to bring in what they had reported. So we are using that annexure that was in 2023-2024 that was reported as a disclosure appendix. So we are just taking them, the ones that have not been paid, but the standard allows them now to bring the balances which are not accurate pending verification. Same to the case of assets, where we write historical, pending now adoption of balances, and now instituting the depreciation and amortization.
No, Auditor, we spent almost 1 hour with Wajir, who had come up with 1.4 billion as trade payables out of the blues. And we spent a lot of time on it. What you're saying is that they were bringing forward, previously it was a disclosure, isn't it? But if they had disclosed 200 million, you'd expect it is the 200 million that they would bring to their financial statements. Would it change in between?
Yes, Chair, it will change, but if we go to note 32...
Under what circumstance would it change?
It can only change when they have disclosed the analysis, the age analysis. Is it within the first year? Is it the second year or the third? If they bring the third, then it will be wrong, because we have the financial statements which were certified.
No, if they said globally, our trade payables in the year under cash accounting was 200 million, and now we have moved to accrual accounting. Shouldn't we see the 200 million for those years as was disclosed in the previous years?
correct, Chair. They should bring the 200 that was disclosed in the previous year that was certified.
I think that's what Senator Maruma, that now clarifies it. So it reverses the earlier assertion that this 237 could just come up if it had not been disclosed in prior years. I think that's what I heard the entity say, that this 237 was not there, but it was brought in as a result of accrual.
Chair, maybe just to check again the analysis, I think maybe because of the figures, the analysis 1 to 2, it means the previous years. When you add 523 million, you add to 273, and you add to 681, goes to 1.4 that we have indicated that were previously reported, which are
Yes,
still
that's what your
outstanding.
opening statement.
That is now the opening.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. So I think one of the things that the entity also didn't do is that other entities usually have a separate analysis and aging of staff payables. That is what is missing, and that's why we are fishing in the dark. So we are not able to tell whether this 237 was just plucked from the air or it had been carried forward from prior periods.
Yeah, and just as an observation, as we are aging, we cannot age the way we have aged. Because when you say 1 to 2 years, 523 million, and then 2 to 3 years, 273 million, you discover that we have 2 and 2 down here. We cannot age like that. We can't do that. It has to be 1 to 2 years, then maybe 3 to 4 years. Otherwise, there cannot be an overlap of 2 and 2. In my previous years, I used to do mathematics. So this one can't, we can't do that.
Okay, Senator Cherarke, so that we...
Chair, maybe mine, Governor, you said something about verification of the pending bill. Was there a report on both legible and illegible? And my second, was it challenged in another forum, or all the people who brought forward their claim has been settled? And therefore, in conclusion of this, over 3 years, how many percent, or if you have numbers, I saw CEO of Finance, is here Katua or somebody, how much has been offset on the eligible part? That will be my 3 questions. Thank you, Chair. Yield back the mic.
Governor?
Sorry, Chair. For Senator Cherarke's question, we do have what's called the pending bill committee. And what they do is sit and go through those pending bills, because some of them did not have all the requirements to be paid. So over time, people do submit what was missing or what was lacking, and it goes through the process, either becoming eligible or stays ineligible. However, I do have the
Governor,
CC.
is it continuous? Do you
Yes,
verify?
yes, even now.
That's dangerous.
It's continuous.
So if I go and go to River Road and manufacture a voucher, how will you know? If I know I'm missing, for example, if there is a sub-county engineer report for a road that was done during the previous administration, maybe tarmac has been washed, the culverts are not there, and I go and manufacture, how do you ensure that you don't lose such? Because I know you have an obligation to protect the resources. So take us through, because over 3 years, some of these projects are over. How do you seal that? I thought it was time bound.
I'll turn it over to the CEC for Finance. But in that committee, and he'll explain, I think you said you want an explanation of how the process works. It has the audit team in it, it has the procurement people, the accountants and technical people, so that they are able to maybe verify what your concern is right now. But I'll have the CEC answer that.
Proceed.
Thank you, Chair. The auditor committee comprises of members of the county team, and they have a secretariat that draws membership from the audit team, procurement department, accountants, and the technical team for those projects that require technical knowledge. So the first step is whoever who has a a bill that requires to be settled goes to the secretariat, through the committee, goes to the secretariat. They look at the nitty-gritties of the payments and whether the work was done or not, the verification. Then now it goes to the committee for now the final verification. Then now that bill moves from ineligible to eligible.
Chair, my only concern, if you hear my worry, and Governor, I thought, you know, my only concern, why is it not time bound? Why are you continuously verifying? That is my only concern, because you have seen your colleagues, Governor, especially the inherited ones. When you are not there, you are with us as the whip, although you are removed by your friend, you survived, you became the governor.
Order. Let's stick to the to the report. I know it is Ugali o'clock, but let's.
But where I come from, Chair, what is important is not Ugali, it is Mursik. So, Governor, my only concern is on these 3 years, Chair, and I hope the committee chair through you is noting, because if we have, Governor, the over 3 years, why didn't you create a time bound of maybe 30 days to verify? Because my worry, Governor, you know, there are people who are crafty, and I'm not saying they're in Nakuru. My worry is they can infiltrate and go and take advantage. If they come to CC, my brother, the CC of Finance, they appear before the committee, they are told there is no voucher of supply of soda. They run at Nakuru Mart supermarket and manufacture a receipt and backdate it and then bring it. Then you include him in legible. Don't you find it is very dangerous? You can pay fake pending bills.
Yeah, I want to pick the mind of Senator Charad.
Yes, please, and return it when you are done with it.
It can be extremely dangerous if it is for maybe construction. Maybe a building is constructed, it's there, classroom is there. You can reconstruct and get maybe the vouchers around there and pay. But for recurrent, over 3 years, maybe a receipt that is not there now, it's provided, and then you pay. You might end up paying a lot of fictitious pending recurrent payables. That is my problem also.
Okay.
So, Chair, let me write also on that Cheragei's mind. We will return it. Governor Senator Susan, you know, this verification is not just on documentation. It's also on physical verification, you know, sideways and all that. And I think what Cheragei is saying really makes a lot of sense. That, take an example of a road, even graveling, you know, a road. The documentation is there, but there is doubt as to whether actually that work was done. 4 years, 3 years down the line, if you are to go and verify on the ground, what are you going to verify? Because, I mean, you have had 5 rain seasons that have washed that road 3 times. It has been done and redone, but you're still telling me, you know, we are not sure whether you did this project, although your documents are okay. How do you go about that?
Okay, Governor, maybe just the process and policy, and then we come back to the numbers.
Thank you, Chair. I'll turn it over to the CC Finance.
Thank you, Chair. For verification, we still need the department to own the pending bill. The committee that's, let's say the interdepartmental committee sits as the last resort, because now the accounting officer should first of all own that bill from the department before now it comes to now the committee for verification. So
members, we might be involved in a hypothetical conversation in the absence of even a written document on their policy and procedure. Perhaps that's what we need to demand. What do you have, a policy document? Do you have some procedure guidelines, or it's just verbal? I'm sure that whoever has been given that responsibility, and I think for the first time I've had a county with what did the lady introduce herself as? Director of?
Resource mobilization.
Director of Debt.
Director of Debt.
Debt management. Which I think is something worth thinking about, because a lot of these counties, debt management is strewn all over the place. So people are involved in manufacturing invoices and LSOs, and you can never get a proper picture on the debt of a county. So if we have a position like that, I believe there must be some guidelines or procedures you have crafted.
Yes.
That can be tabled to assure the members that whatever you're doing is foolproof.
Yes, Chair, we have guidelines.
Can we then ask the Auditor General just to look at those guidelines and make sure that the risk that is being raised by members of taking too long to verify is not a real risk that will occasion financial loss in Nakuru? So that we don't deal with the hypothetical, we deal with an actual policy position. And then we come back to the numbers and then ask the governor, today is the 2nd of July 2026. The financial year was closed 2 days ago. Did you receive all your disbursements 100% by 30th of June?
Exchequer releases were done, yes.
By 30th of June?
Yes.
So we are not going to have this kind of problems in the succeeding financial year?
The easy answer would be we won't, but we will, because the requisitions that will be paid after the year closes. You see, there's so many that went through the system but will not have been paid until probably by the end of July. So there's that one, because the money comes in towards mid-June, right? I think so, mid-June.
No, there's a Governor, there's a 15-day window, which sometimes the Treasury opens even up to 30 days.
Which is true.
There's a window for reconciliation and finalization, and I believe you are right in the middle of that window right now.
Yes, we are. Actually, we are. But for those payments to completely go through the process or the system, it will be probably through July with that window.
Okay, so let's deal with that when it appears in the financial statements.
Sure.
Number two, as we close this, just out of the 5 billion that has been cited, how much of it has been paid? Or what percentage has been paid?
That's what my question earlier.
Chair, 3,460,178,592.52 has been paid.
So that means that the remaining 1.4 billion has now rolled over to debt over one year, isn't it?
Oh, sorry.
So the remaining 1.4 has escalated into 1 year debt.
Yes, that will be carried forward, and I believe that will be probably be paying.
Okay. Thirdly,
and even right now, sorry, Chair, to interrupt again, even as we speak, a lot of that is being paid because it was processed before the June 30th.
Thirdly, of the 1.47 billion cited, and that's in the report of the Auditor General, to be older than 1 year, what percentage remains outstanding? Or how much of that has been settled?
Sorry, Chair, if you can repeat the question.
Of the 1.47 billion that the Auditor General cited as being over 1 year in these financial statements, how much of that has been settled? There was
around 200, 237, 200, about 230 million.
So your debt is growing faster than your repayments?
No. Can you answer?
Yeah, this is the records we have up to 31st of May. We do not have the records for what is at requisition level at the controller of budget.
Okay, so we can get the full picture in in the substantive audit.
Yes.
Okay. Now this also brings to question your fiscal responsibility index. So, auditor, you need to now help us. If almost 1 billion was not accounted for in the year under review. Do we have a correct picture of compensation of employees for the year? Because, you know, you cited it, it's a substantive finding where you're saying that I think it's under lawfulness, non-compliance with fiscal responsibility principle on wage bill. With all these accounting stories we are hearing, what is the true cost of compensation of employees for that year?
Thank you, Chair. The true cost of employee cost was 6,590,685,095.
But we are told almost 900 million relating to that period were paid, are sitting here in this pending, in these trade payables, staff payables.
Thank you, Chair. When we go to note 32, the trade payables are also having other segments whereby we have employee payable compensation, which is 554,158,051, which indicates that this is the salary that was processed at the end of the year, at the end of the month.
That was not processed.
Yes.
That was not processed.
Sure, thank you.
So the true cost perhaps should take the 554, add the 312, isn't it? The 312 of employee payables, staff payables.
Yes, Chair, but the compensation also involves other parties. There is also payee. So when the reporting template is presented as this, we may not get the small nitty-gritty explanation. If we go that way, I think we maybe get lost.
So is Nakuru at 42% in terms of fiscal responsibility? Remember the PBO, PBO was disputing that percentage.
Yes, Chair. When you look at the revenue they have reported, it is 15,593,236,618. And when you compare the employee cost is 6,590,685,950. So when you get the percentage is 42. It's above the threshold that is recommended at 35%.
But auditor, also under budgetary control and performance, you have reported that the statement of comparison of budget and actual amounts reflects total receipts, budget and actual on a comparable basis of 23.9 billion and 19.5 billion respectively. So shouldn't the revenue be 19.5 billion as reported on your emphasis of matter? Why is there disconnect between the two figures, the 19.5 and
Which page is that?
the 15.5? Emphasis of matter in the original certificate is on page 5, and the analysis on fiscal responsibility is on page 7.
Okay.
I don't know whether Salat is in the room, PBO. I know we had raised it in our briefing, so we need to settle this matter. So what is the, okay, just proceed. What is the revenue that we need to use as a base for computing fiscal responsibility?
The revenue should be what they have collected in totality, including what they have received from Exchequer.
And that should be what amount?
We calculated based on what they reported in their statement, which was 15 billion.
And where is this 19.5 billion coming from?
The
19.534 billion.
This is the total budget, including, you see the performance on this was excluding the ROR. So when we add the ROR, which was 4 point, was it 4 point? Yeah, we add.
The base should be the total revenues, not just equitable share.
Okay, I think that one we need to have a correction on that, yeah.
I don't know whether, Governor, what you are saying makes sense?
Yes.
So what was the actual, according to you? You've reported 15 in the statements, and the auditor has seen 19.5.
19, right? Yeah.
So auditor,
Because of own source revenue and all that.
you understand where you're coming from?
Chair, I've understood.
So you need to recompute it,
Sure.
look at it so that we get a better picture
Sure.
of the state of affairs in Nakuru.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. We have taken note of that.
Senator Tabitha.
I think it's also very important for the Nakuru people to know Because I can see here the 7.4 billion that was not absorbed in the county. You seen there?
The under absorption of
resulting to an under absorption of 7.4 billion, which is at about 38%.
of the actual receipts.
Yeah. So where did that money go? Was it returned to the National Treasury?
Okay. Again, when these matters are in the audit report, the public can interpret it in any way they deem fit.
So maybe it's good, the Auditor General, you tell us, was it returned to the National Treasury or what happened?
Okay.
Is that the auditor's question or the county's question?
Thank you, Chair. The Honorable Senator is asking the explanation in the budget where we are comparing what was actual receipt and what was spent. And Honorable Senator, you can follow the discussion that we had. At the close of the financial year, there are some payments that do not go through as they have been submitted to the controller of budget pending approval, and that's why the Treasury gives the window between 1st July to around 15th for the clearance. Once the window is closed, we normally have exchequer return, which forms part of our analysis.
So to go into record, does it mean that 7.4 billion of the allocated money to the Nakuru County government was returned to the Treasury?
Thank you, Honorable Senator. It was not returned because the financial statement is as at 30th June, like yesterday, part 1. But the expenditure is allowed for reconciliation until around mid-July, whereby now we exhaust all the exchequer releases that were.
But do you want to tell me in 15 days, a county government can consume 7.4 billion?
Honorable Senator, it's possible because it depends. If it's a contract, they have a contract, a construction
Auditor
going
General,
on.
you are taking on a role that's not yours.
Mm.
It is the job of the executive to explain this. I think yours is to provide assurance, not to explain it.
Chair,
Chair, for the benefit of all
provide
of us.
assurance.
yeah.
For the benefit of all of us, Chair.
Senator Wambua.
The benefit of-
Because as the Auditor General, this is our report. According to it is our report.
So I think you should stop at an assurance that whatever you have reported there is lawful and prudent. As to the nitty-gritties, it is an entity to address themselves to. Senator Wambua?
Yeah, so I would just want to hear from the auditor that the window that is open for 15 days, any transaction that takes place in between 1st of July to 15th of July can procedurally be captured in the accounting documents up to that 8th of June. Is that what you're saying? You're saying that yes, the year closes on that 8th, but there is disbursement that comes after that 8th or just before that 8th. So the monies, the funds received, it can be consumed in the county and then entered into the books as having been expended up to June 30th. Is that the position?
Auditor?
Okay, thank you, Honorable Senator. We are not saying that we are opening the books. The